it's so heartwarming. It grabs you right away because it's a conversation that Jesus is having with this woman, Gabrielle Bossis, and but immediately when you start reading the conversation, you think he's talking to you. We're coming out with a devotional for this book, a daily devotional, which means each day it will have an excerpt from he and I. And I helped the sisters along with that. I just highlighted all my favorite parts, and then we started dividing it up according to topic, trust, surrender, prayer, and it's like just enough for the day. And then it has a quote from the scripture that goes right with the excerpt, and then there's a prayer prompt, like how you can start your own prayer, because that's what's marvelous, I think, about he and I, is that it starts your own conversation with the Lord. At first it seems like you're kind of listening in on his conversation with Gabrielle, but in the end you realize that he's actually holding this conversation with you, and that you kind of continue, you pick up where it left off, which is great. So to have a daily devotional based on a book like this is going to be fantastic.
It is going to be sitting right next to my bed. Every time I open this book, I find something new and something illuminating and something inspiring. I'd like to take just a minute and talk a little bit about Gabrielle Bossis, because she was such an interesting person. And one of the things that really strikes me about her is that she had this lovely life. I mean, lovely in many ways. She became a nurse during World War I. She ended up being a playwright and an actor and touring the world. But this didn't start. Jesus didn't start directly speaking to her until she was at 60 years old.
Isn't that cool?
Exactly. How cool is that? That we all think of, you have to be 18 or 14 or something, to start this. And if you haven't, then you've lost.
Then you've missed it, right? Exactly.
And here God just, let her go on and do her thing. And she did some absolutely amazing things. She was actually commissioned by a priest to do these plays that brought young people into the church. And you could argue that she just, she really fulfilled a lot of her Christian destiny. And then she's on a cruise ship of all places.
I know how it starts.
To her when she's 60. So to me, that's just like one of the most amazing stories. And I hold it close to my heart every time I think, have I been wasting my time? Have I been wasting my time? No, it's all in God's time.
Exactly. I think I went through, growing up, like in the convent and everything. It's like I reached the age of Saint Therese. Oh, darn, I'm still not a saint. She died at 24. I'm still not a saint. And at each stage, Saint Catherine of Siena is 33. I missed that one too. And then I'm on to like 45. And then Teresa of Avila, I missed that too. And so, like you said, it's not over till it's over, right? I mean, you still have every single opportunity to become a saint, and because the work of it is not your work, it's the Lord's work. And as soon as you open your heart to it, it happens. He that's what he's waiting for. And I think that's what comes out in he and I, is that intimate type of conversation that he's having with her, saying that you think this is all up to you, and it's not up to you. You think these things happen just by chance. It doesn't happen by chance. Everything is in my providence. So it's like reorienting ourselves in a way that we can see that, it happens when it's meant to happen.
But is the sense of the ordinary throughout this, that God isn't just speaking to her in a church, at Mass, on Sunday, she's on a train, she's in a garden, she's walking down the street, and it's almost like there's this blessing on things that are just daily things, which really lends itself, I think, to a devotional, so that every day you're looking at the wonder of Jesus speaking to you in this day, whatever this day happens to be. It may be raining, you may be depressed, whatever. This is the day that Jesus is speaking to you. And I just find that so enlightening, so inspirational.
It's so endearing is what it is. It's like Jesus comes down into the ordinary of your life and makes himself present. And I think even for Gabrielle, this was like a revelation, because, the idea of Jesus or visions or whatever of the Lord is meant for like, cloistered nuns and for saints and for, so she's thinking she's not a nun. She's not living a life exclusively of prayer. And but in the meantime, Jesus is telling her, but this is your cloister. Our relationship is the cloister that I want you to have, and that she doesn't need to become a nun. Each person has their calling, but the calling for each one of us, whether in the convent, out of a convent, as a single person, as a married person, whatever, is to be united with Jesus and to have a really strong relationship with him and a deep love and friendship with him. And I think Gabrielle really shows us that this can happen to absolutely anybody. I mean, really, she was also a World War I nurse. I think she was like involved in so many things.
She was.
So many things. Yeah.
And the fact that she was able, I mean, she was a World War I nurse. She went to the front lines. She was near the trenches. It was one of the most horrific experiences that anyone could have, especially a young girl who had been raised in a sheltered environment. Her family had money, so she had probably never seen anything terrible in her life. And there she was, and she coped, and I'm sure that she coped with the aid of her faith. And to turn that around into this woman who ends up just overflowing with joy and love. I mean, that's what you see from her side. Yeah, sometimes she sounds insecure, which actually I really love because it makes me feel okay that I'm sometimes insecure too. But a lot of the time, this is just this beautiful love song, almost like the Song of Songs, the bridegroom and the bride. Here's Jesus speaking to her as we are united, we are as one, and it seems like every experience she had somehow brought her to that moment. And that's something else that I think that all of us, whether we're religious or lay people, can say, all of my experiences have been given to me by God and have brought me to this moment with him.
Gabrielle is such an ordinary woman. She has her moments of vanity and insecurity and whatever. And you can certainly identify with it. All of us can identify with that. And Jesus is constantly, reassuring her, that, what matters to him is, it's simple. It's more simple than we think it is. We tend to complicate things, but when we read this, it's like it gets us back to what really, really does matter. And what the Lord wants of us is our time. Is us, Right. It's not so much what we do. He wants us.
Yeah, the heart is what he's looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, obviously, we strongly recommend both of these books to you. He and I by Gabrielle Bossis, and then our new Jesus Speaking, which will be a daily devotional, and we can't wait to see it. I certainly can't wait to see it.
I can't wait. Yeah, I am so excited. Just so excited.
So look for both of those, either in our web store or in one of our book centers. And Sister Julia, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Anytime, Jeanette.
And thank you all for listening in. God bless you all.